Angela, what are you doing?
Yo, dusted, man. I hate dust. You know it's the number one thing that brings down the value of a toy?
You don't say.
Maybe. Probably just making that up. But I hate dust. The only thing I like, McFarlane toys. And they're back, better than ever, I think. They've been around forever. I'm going to tell you the things I like, some of the things I don't like, some of the things that are weird. Let's talk about Todd today on Toygains. Hey! Oh! Toygains! Toygains! Hey, welcome to the show. You're probably wondering what the heck is going on. Why does this guy have so many crazy, varied McFarlane figures on his desk in front of him? Well, we're going to talk about Todd McFarlane. I want to go over the good, the bad, and the weird. McFarlane, he's been around for a while. He made a big comeback. He got the DC line, and it was to be able to get his toys back on shelves in places like Target and Walmart, and in Canada still with Toys R Us. Prior to DC, he was doing more Walking Dead stuff, and that was really just in comic shops and like GameStop. So I think he got these licenses. I don't know the guy personally. I don't have a lot of insight. I'm just going off what I think is going on, and I want to have a discussion about it, see what you guys think. Obviously, I like his stuff, or I wouldn't buy it. So let's start with the good. So for the good, we're going to start where it all began for McFarlane Toys, and it was this clown from Spawn, the comic book, and that was in the mid-90s, and this was his latest clown figure. And one of the things that all toy collectors usually gripe about is articulation. And I'm going to move the classic one to the side, which had no articulation, but if you remember, it did have this fun little transformation thing. That's fun for about 5 seconds. But anyway, that was cool for its time. We're not going to really talk about the old McFarlane, but I just wanted to show you the comparison as to where we have come from. So one of the sticking points toy collectors have, and I see it in social media, I see it on Instagram, is they always still question and gripe and critique Todd's articulation.
Double jointed elbow. Whack! Articulation. Whack!
This clown figure has joints at the knees, it has joints at the ankles. It doesn't have a double jointed elbow. I don't think clown would need one. The point is the articulation is there, and I think part of the good is he's still giving you these good sculpts with articulation. I'm going to bring Spawn in from Mortal Kombat. For years, people have been begging and pleading and asking for an articulated Spawn. This guy has double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, good head swivel. So I think the good is Todd has addressed articulation while giving us these good sculpts that he's always been pretty good at. I mean, not as good as the 90s with some of his Spawn figures, but those weren't articulated. So it's the best of both worlds. You're still getting a good sculpt, and you're getting articulation. I'm going to bring in something else that's good. Good! He's doing big, huge figures. This is the new Violator. This was at Target. It's about $40. It's a huge, massive figure to go along with your Spawn to fight. I mean, that is just a great figure, a great sculpt. There's articulation there at a good price. Not a lot of toy companies have the guts to put stuff out this big. I mean, this is as big as the HasLab Rancor, but Hasbro doesn't put out figures this big. NECA doesn't put out figures this big. So Todd is still doing things that are risky, and that's cool. That's fun. Good. I'm gonna bring in a figure from a next line. You have 3 figures from the Witcher line, Ciri and Geralt, and this big ice cave troll. Again, you have a big, huge figure from the line. Not a lot of toy companies are doing stuff like this for their figures. The sculpts are good, and yeah, that's a positive. To be able to see these things at Target, at Walmart, it's fun for a collector. We all go to Target and Walmart. We all look for the same stuff. We go to the Marvel Legends part. We go to maybe the wrestling figures. We head to the NECA section. to see McFarlane there as another option to buy fun stuff is a good thing for us. It's a good thing for collectors. And I know a lot of people don't want to embrace it yet. I'm not here to convince anyone. But again, this Witcher line is good. McFarlane has given us these cool vehicles. I saw this one at Target recently from the new Batman movie. This was a death metal bike, death metal figure. They didn't come together, so that gives you the option of not having to spend, say, $60. You could have just purchased the bike for $30 if you didn't like the figure. You can use this bike for other 6-inch figures. That's cool. It's a very detailed, cool-looking vehicle. These are more cool things that Todd is doing that, as a collector, I appreciate and I think is fun. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about the McFarlane toy line is he's given us things like a dynamic flight stand for a Superman figure. And he's making original designs for Batman. I mean, he is a comic book artist, so this was a design he came up with. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's a fresh take on Batman, and this figure in hand is very fun, very cool looking. This is Batman from Justice League, the Batfleck. You know, he is doing a lot of Batman figures. If you're a Batman fan, it's great. I understand it might be a little worn out, but he is one of the most popular superheroes of all time. The scopes look good. So we're still in the good with Todd. And that's a good thing. Right? A lot of good. So you've heard me gush about how good McFarlane is, and you're probably thinking to yourself, this guy's just some McFarlane fanboy. He showed his figures from back in the day, and he still collects them now. And I can already hear people, or think about the comments people are going to be saying, because people hate a lot of things that McFarlane does. And with me and toy collecting, this is my favorite hobby. So when you have a hobby, I'm going to tend to try to look towards all the positives within the hobby and not the negatives. Because there is a lot of stress and negatives out there with toy hunting and scalping. But I try to block most of that out and look towards the positive. But I'm not crazy or naive. There is some weird and bad things with some of these figures. This Flash figure from the Justice League. I mean, he looks like he did in the film. There's good paint apps. He's articulated well, double joints everywhere. But he has something on this figure that I can't remember in all my years of collecting. I don't think I've ever seen. So all this is a hard plastic, as you would expect. I'm just going to bring in another figure, a Marvel Legend. This is a really sweet, beautiful, classic Tony Stark Iron Man. Now this is from a comic book. This is from a movie. Two different styles of figure. One is meant to look like an actor, and one is meant to look like a comic book. The point is this: when you buy a Marvel Legends figure, you know what you're getting every time. You're going to get double jointed knees. Man, he's stiff. He needs a hot bath. You're going to get double jointed knees. It's going to be plastic everywhere. Kind of shiny. Very toyetic is the word they use. It's a toy. With McFarlane, no other figure in this Justice League line had this. This dude has like a rubbery, like his butt portion, or his butt is all like a diaper, like a soft, mushy, weird diaper. And I don't know if that's because when you want to get him to really run, so it could bend with the legs, maybe that's it. And that's kind of smart, but it just looks weird. So this kind of makes me not want to put him in some really weird, not weird, but dynamic pose for running. I just want to keep him standing there so that diaper, see that little meat flap diaper? A little squishy. See, look. That's bad. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. To bring him back in. He's, all right. This is some weird pose. You're never going to have, I don't even know what he's doing. He's doing like a, balancing like a tray of food and dancing at the same time. But for whatever reason, let's say you had him in that pose. You're getting this weird thing going on. I put the Marvel Legend in the same exact pose. As my dog barks at me. And you don't need this weird rubber plastic. So that's just bad. It doesn't make any sense. No toy ever... no one else is doing weird stuff like this. So that to me is bad. When you buy a figure, within the toy line, you expect them to all be kind of consistent. I don't like that. You know, I can't even make an excuse for that. But, so that's bad. And that happens with a few other figures. I don't have the new Cygor. I guess the new Cygor has a huge weird diaper thing. There's a good YouTuber called Talker Art. Little link right there. And he talks about that Cygor having a weird diaper like this. Just picture this squishy diaper on a grander figure scale. Another thing is bad is this guy is obsessed with giving these figures the side eye. When they're looking to the side, I don't know if they think it's more dramatic, more of like a movie thing. I have no clue. I have about 4 figures with the side eye, and no one likes it. People often repaint it. It's talked about in forums for fans of the figures. I don't know who over there is calling the shots. I don't know if it's still Todd. I don't know if he's just a face of that's on the box. But someone, please, if this ever gets to anyone, stop with this side eye. I'm tired of repainting my figures. This is definitely bad. I'm going to pull in the flash as well. You can see he's doing it too. I mean, this guy runs over 300, 400, 500 miles per hour. You really think he's going to be wanting to look to the side while doing that?
What?
It's like, is he on the right of me? Is he on my left? I know he's on my right. I know he's on my left. It's like these two guys are trying to look at each other without turning their heads.
Pet Cemetery.
Their costumes are so tight. They're like...
Batman looks like Cross-Eye from here.
I know when the figure's on the shelf, you can't see their eyes. But I know it's there. You know it's there. We all know it's there. We don't want it to be there. Get rid of the side eye. Another bad is accessories. So this is the King Shazam figure, who I like. It's a great sculpt. The cape looks nice. I love the grin he has. But something I've grown accustomed to with the McFarlane figures is they don't come with many accessories. And I've accepted that for some reason. None of the Batman figures have closed-fisted hands, which Batman mainly punches people. So for the figures not to come with fist hands was odd. King Shazam, however, has fists. He also came with another set of hands. So of 30 figures I have, and then out of nowhere, King Shazam has extra hands. It's like, well, why doesn't Batman have hands? Why does King Shazam get the extra hand treatment when it should be all the Batman figures? And, well, the accessories that they do come with are real gummy. And depending on how long they've been in the package, they're going to be even gummier with the heat and humidity. If you buy a figure in the summertime, this thing is going to, like, you know, plastic and temperature is just a weird thing. I'm not a scientist. But I did play one on TV. No. What did they say?
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah, it's bad. I can't even try and, you know, sometimes I just try and, like, give them an excuse. It feels so weird and gummy. I thought he wasn't giving extra hands and accessories and extra heads because he wanted to keep the cost down of each figure. But if this guy can have an extra set of hands, then they all can. He's the same price. While we're on the subject, I don't like when he has an unmasked... Like, I want this Peacemaker figure. So he has an unmasked Peacemaker and a masked Peacemaker. So I've been watching this Peacemaker show. It's fun. And I'm like a big kid when I watch a show. I want to watch the show with my Peacemaker figure and look at it while I'm watching the show. It is what it is. I'm a big kid. But I go to Target and there's like 10 Peacemaker figures, all with the helmet off. I don't want the helmet off Peacemaker. I want the helmet on. Just come with... I guess I'm not the only one if there's 10 there and there's no mask Peacemakers.
Yeah, that's true.
Just come with 2 heads. Like most every other toy line. NECA, Marvel Legends, even wrestling figures. Some He-Man figures. Just come with another head. Stop with the unmasked variants. That's a bad business model. And I can see why people would get frustrated with McFarlane. I am. No more unmasked crap. 2 heads. That was my little rant about masks and my situation with Peacemaker. It really is getting to me.
You know, lately I'm just thinking I'm a maniac.
Now we're going to talk about the weird and Well, I'm going to speculate as to why it's weird for some of the things. For some other things, I have no idea. So this is the Adam West 60s Batman line. And I think they're fun. They look great. They really pop off the shelf because of their colors. But what's weird is when they were first announced, and I saw a picture, I was like, oh, cool. You know, McFarlane's doing the Adam West Batman. I saw pictures. Couldn't wait to get them. I think I pre-ordered them. Or, no, I think I just rushed to Target that day they were out. But the thing I didn't like and didn't know until I saw them in hand was the size. Why are they 5.5 inch? Why didn't you stay in scale with the toys, the figures he was already making? I think McFarlane fancied himself like Hasbro or NECA, where, say, example for NECA, a Gremlin isn't the same size as Jason Voorhees, or he's not in scale with Jason. They're two different universes, so NECA wants to make the Gremlin figures the size they want to make them. They're not worried about being in scale with Jason, for example. So I think McFarlane maybe thinks he's a toy company, so he's just making toys. But, I mean, when you're making so many Batman figures and then you make the Adam West Batman, you're just expecting him to be as big as this Batman. And it was basically the same price. To me, that's just weird. At the end of the day, it's a nice figure, but it would be maybe kind of fun to put this Joker with this Batman, but I can't. It looks like his son or something. I don't know. I'm not in the same realm. They're not going to be able to do anything together other than look goofy, stand next to each other. So that's a gripe. I think that's just weird. I don't like it. It is what it is. Yeah, it's a bummer.
He's not all right.
Now for the truly weird. This has to be the strangest thing I've seen in a long time with collecting figures. This is the Pattinson Batman from the upcoming film. I don't mind the sculpt. I don't mind what he's wearing. I think it's cool. Every Batman iteration to me is always something cool and unique, and that's what I like about the Batman character. So the dude has this like handshake in hand, like, you know, put her there. I guess maybe in the movie Batman like has a new thing where he just put her there, buddy, and he shakes your hand. I'm Batman. And shakes the guy's hand. I don't know. Maybe. A little handshake in hand. And then I noticed it has like a hole in it. And then the bat grapple gun has a peg. And this, instead of holding it like any other toy ever, it like pegs into the hand. And it looks so goofy. It looks like it's just like it, you know, it's stuck to his hand. It's really odd, really bizarre. I've never seen that before. Okay? So then a few days later, I buy the Bat Bike. And I'm digging through the package, and I see this little stand, which is a nice touch, because there's no kickstand. Sometimes these bikes have kickstands. But this came with this little stand for the back tire. And then I look in the package, and I see a fist hand in the box for the bike. And this fist hand is for this figure, so this goofy handshake hand doesn't have to be used to grab the handlebar. Why didn't this hand just come with this figure that could just hold this, you know, grapple gun, just like that? Or how about just don't even have this stupid handshake slapping hand at all, and just have this. I just talked about how the figures don't come with different hands, so eliminate this hand and just come with that hand that could fit the bike and grab this gun. Really strange. It has to be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You know, but at the end of the day, when you have it all together, I think it looks cool. I think it's fun, but that's just really weird. So this video, I'm going to wrap it up by saying this. This wasn't like a video to try and encourage you to run out and buy McFarlane toys. But what I'm saying is this. If you go to Target, you go to Walmart, and you're getting depressed because there's no NECA on the shelf, there's not that Spider-Man Marvel Legend you've been looking for, some weird wrestling variant you've been looking for, give McFarlane a shot. It's fun. It's a good price point. A lot of people are down on him. The fans that have been with him forever still love him. I'm more on the fence of just having fun with it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Push the... Is there any other buttons you gotta hit? Like, subscribe, share. You gotta share it. Share it with someone. Share it with your parents, your friends. And see you next time.